Today's video, we're going to talk about pre-marketing. You're probably wondering what the hell pre-marketing is if you didn't outright search for this, and how it applies to making money, how it works, and why, more importantly, it works very, very well to generate customers in your niche market. Okay, this has to do with running ads on Adroll or Google Display Network. Effectively, you have banner ads that show up for people before they know they want to buy from you, to convince them to buy from you. Now this is different than, of course, showing a banner ad to somebody that you do want to buy from you but hasn't been to your site or anything. In that, you can actually, instead of doing that by itself, which for the most part, it's pretty dumb to just try to go out there and convince somebody to do business with you until you've done what I'm talking about first. There's always something that where you can find somebody that if they buy this, they often buy what you sell. Or if they deal with your competitor, of course, and buy from them, you could sell something to them, and so forth. You can find out who's about to buy from your market and then get your banner ads in front of them. Of course, to get them as a customer, but pre-marketing in that you can get some impressions or showing of your brand, your logo, that kind of thing in front of these people that are soon going to be buying from your market but aren't ready to buy from your market yet. For instance, if you're going to go to a day spa, there's certain times you're going to go. If I see your ad for a day spa today, and I normally don't go to a day spa unless it's Saturday, you're not going to, that ad can't have an effect on me. But because I saw it, now I'm going to be more likely to go with your day spa than if I didn't. Why? Because that's just how it works. Now it might be a minuscule increase in that situation, but there's a bigger chance thereof, nevertheless, if they saw that ad versus if they didn't see that ad. What this video here is about is showing your ad to people that are likely to do business with you, that don't necessarily want to click through and buy from you right then, but to prime the pump, if you will, so that when they do go to buy from somebody, it ends up being you a majority of the time. It'd be nice if they would just click through our ad and buy, which you'll get some people doing that. But that's not the main benefit of being able to do online marketing. The main benefit is you can find out who's likely to be a customer in the near future and just pound them with ads until they know more about you than your competitor, so that when they go to buy, they recognize your name first and then therefore want to do business with you first. Okay? So this goes in, this is in contradiction with what most people think online marketing is about, which is getting in front of somebody who can buy and sell it to them right now. There's more money to be made targeting everybody who's about to buy in your market before anybody else targets them, to seem like the biggest brand in the space, so that when they do go to buy, they just want to do business with you by default. Why? Because even if you're running search ads on Google, you run the best ad, your ad click-through rate's 15%. That's still only 15% of the people on Google search that you can get. And there's a lot of people who are going to buy from you who aren't going to use a Google search. So doing online marketing the traditional way, you're only going to get a small piece of the market that way. You can get a much larger piece if you just find out everybody who's going to be buying in the near future and make sure they see your ads while they're online, which everybody goes online for something, so you can get in front of every single one of those people. Then because they saw your ads, they're now more likely to go with you. You can get a decent amount of people coming to you just because you were smart enough to get in front of them before anybody else did and get some brand recognition. There's a reason why brands make so much money. When people go buy, they tend to want to go with the brand. You may not be a brand, but you could create the effect of seeming like a brand if you have your ads show up for people before they buy, because they don't know, in a market like, I don't know, fasteners or bolts, they don't know the difference between one company and another. They'd like to go with the brand. And so if you just have your ad show up for them a week before they buy, when you know they're going to be buying soon, therefore they buy a week later, and you have your ad show up for them, they're more likely to go with you because they think you're the brand. Obviously if you're buying cookies, everybody knows what those brands are, so it wouldn't necessarily work. But there's a lot of niche businesses where people don't know what the brand is. And effectively what they're doing when they enter the market is try to figure out who is the brand, because they want to do business with the brand. Why? Because it's safe. Yeah, some people want to be cheap asses and they want to buy from the cheapest person possible. But that's not a majority of the market. Most people just want a decent price and hire the person who's the biggest, baddest company. Whether they think you're the biggest and the baddest can be one and done, if you will, when they're ready to do business with somebody right there on the spot on your landing page or whatever. But you have a bigger effect on the person when you show up for them leading up to that purchase a few times, so that when they go do the purchase, they see your brand, they've seen it, they recognize it, you got them. And so that's what this pre-marketing strategy is about. When somebody goes to buy from your market, 75% of people just want to go with the person they've heard of already, if they can, because that's the safe option. If you are not an authority in your space right now, you haven't been around 30 million years, you can appear that way to the consumer simply by targeting the people that are about to be customers in your market with banner advertising that you could do online. When I say banner advertising, I mean real banner ads like you probably are thinking of, like the skyscraper banner ads that you see across the web, but also like ads on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and all the other places, which really is just called display advertising, online display advertising. So your goal is to figure out, where's the people at, how can I find where our soon-to-be customers are at in our market, and then just slam them with tons of ads, so that when they go to buy 1 week, 1 month down the road, they automatically we have name recognition with that person, so that they end up buying from us with a 75% chance, because they know our name better than anybody else's. So here's the method. So in order to do this, in order to get in front of people that are soon to be buying from your market but aren't ready to buy yet, of course, as a side, you could target, like if you sold plumbing services, you could target people on Google search that are searching for stuff like how to hire a plumber, how to fix a broken toilet. And that's one way to go about doing it. And that would technically also be considered pre-marketing, because you could send them to an article and educate them and then hopefully transition them into a customer that way. But even before then, or in addition to that, because there's only going to be so many people in your market still that are going to search for information like that on Google. Of course, and a lot less so when you're talking about a $100 purchase versus a $10,000 purchase. They do less research. So in order to get in front of these people that are going to buy, there's other ways you can do it. One of which is to target your competitors' customers if you're talking about a business where you have repeat purchases. In the spa example that I said, I gave an example of before, the spa industry, or where you run a local day spa. Number one strategy in that market is just going to be targeting all these people that go to the other day spas in the area and then poaching those customers. So, and you're wondering, well, how the hell do you do that? Of course, there's many ways you can do that, of which you can have an ad show up for people when they search for that spa itself on Google, or you could tell Google, anybody who's been to that spa website in the recent past, I want my banner ad to show up for them. Yes, you can do that, but it's still only a small percentage of those, small percentage of the opportunities, because if you go to a spa on a regular basis, you probably don't go online searching for that spa on a regular basis, right? So you wouldn't be able to technically get in front of those people with that method alone. What would be a lot more effective would be targeting people who have access to the credit card data of the people who use a credit card to pay at those spas. There are companies like American Express that you could go to, or just go to an intermediary that has access to all the people who have purchased visit services from a day spa, that you can then get their email addresses from, and then you can use those email addresses to power an ad campaign online on Adroll, on Google Display Network, if you spend at least $50,000 lifetime on Google so far, on Facebook, on Twitter, and all these other places. Any place that'll let you run an ad by email address, you can do this. And then at that point in time, of course, you can have your own select set of banner ads show up for them. Okay? So for something like the spa, where they're likely to be a customer for life or for a long time, you could just have this campaign running in the background all the time. Your goal, with the goal just being brand recognition. You'll peel off a small amount of demand if you have a banner ad with an actual offer on it that says, come into our spa, we'll give you 50% off of your first stay or whatever. And you'll get some people to click through. But that's a small little piece of what you're going to be able to get. The bigger piece is people seeing the ad, seeing a brand recognition, and then when they don't like something about their current spa or they just want to mix it up, and they go to Google to search for a day spa in their local area, they see your name and they go click on it at 3-4 times the rate that they would otherwise, because you've got name recognition with them. And or they just know your name, so they go search for you directly on Google after that. The thing about this that makes it so effective is it costs literally a penny, one damn penny, to show up for somebody like that on the web. So there might be only, in your local market, if you're a day spa like that, there might only be 1,000 people that are going to a spa on a regular basis. So for you to have banner ads that show up for people long term for all 1,000 people, that costs you almost nothing. You can have the ad show up once a day for them for the next 3 years, and it literally costs you $10 to do that for each person. And so then everybody in that list is going to have know about your spa. So that's the main way that you could do pre-marketing. So if you wanted to know example of where you can get those customer lists at, you can go. One is Nextmark. You can type in Nextmark mailing lists into Google, find their search engine. You can find customer lists there. If you can't find it there, just go to a data broker and search online, or just search for lists like that. Spa customer mailing list. You can find it. So that's one way to do pre-marketing. The other way would be to do targeted B2B lists. So this is more so for if you're selling to businesses, okay? We had a company that sold to agency owners, marketing agencies, web design agencies, and with that, we just simply got a list of all the agencies. We manually built that list, which sometimes you can buy a list, like I said before, go to a list broker, or you can just manually build a list if you're talking about like B2B, selling to businesses. And then we just went and uploaded that to LinkedIn, Adroll, and so forth, and just started running those ads specifically to warm them up so that when we went directly after them, they would already know who we are. So they're more likely to respond, because that's what it's about in that B2B market. You can email them or call them later because they saw your banner ad, they're willing to take your call. It's really that simple. We do this in our own business. Every single person that I'd like to work with, I first put them into our Adroll campaign so they know who we are, and our banner ad will show up for them basically for years, because sometimes it takes years for people to, the time is right for them to switch marketing agencies, and we have that going in the background. They know who we are then at that point in time. Or if they're going to go to Google and search for us, of course they're going to click on our ad there at a higher rate than they would otherwise, just like I was talking about before. So that's specifically what you want to do. And in that situation as well, we were running those pre-marketing ads so that later on we can run an ad that asks them, which we do this often, where we'll say, here's a free gift card for 15 minutes of your time, and then book them on a call and then do a sales pitch to them. Well, that pitch works better if you did the pre-marketing to that list to show your brand name and everything before they got that direct pitch. The key thing is that it'll make what this does is it makes your other marketing efforts that you're already doing work better, because you now have name recognition. So that's one way to do pre-marketing. Another one would be pre-purchases. So to give you an example about this one, we sold, a client sells granite countertops. With that, the biggest thing that people purchase in conjunction with granite countertops is a new house. If you buy a new house, if it doesn't have granite countertops, first thing people try to do is get granite countertops installed in that house. So you can see where I'm going with this. We get a customer list from a data broker of all the people who bought a new house in the last 30 days, or you can build that kind of list with Google Display Network manually if you want, which we also did that. And we use it to upload our Adroll account, and now our banner ads show up for our, showing that we're the #1 granite seller in the area, knowing not everybody who's bought a house is going to get new granite countertops, but more than 1% of the people who bought a house is going to get new granite countertops. And that's enough of a level of saturation in our list of buyers that, spending $1 to have each one of those people on those lists will see our ad 100 times is worth the investment, because now when they go to buy that granite, they're 10 times more likely to go with us, or 4 to 5 times more likely. Now that they have name recognition, they know we're a branded company in the area, even though we might not certainly necessarily be that. To know how well this works, by the way, speaking of what, if you're wondering, will this double my sales, 10x my sales, what is it going to do? And or does it increase my sales at all? All you have to do, this is real simple, is you do a conversion lift test, where, like in the home buyer situation, because you can also add geographic layering to your banner ad or display advertising that you're doing online. If you want to see how well it works, do everything I'm telling you to target, like in this situation, all the home buyers, if you were selling granite countertops, that have bought, everybody that's bought in a house in the last 30 days. Then, which you can get through these lead sellers, then though, dictate to the ad platform that this only runs in half of your target market, half of your city, half of your state, whatever you're targeting. And then 6 months later, come back and check your overall sales and see how your overall sales has went up, given that you were running this pre-marketing campaign in one half of the city versus the other. That's how you specifically know how well it works, given very few people are going to see your ad for granite countertops as they're reading a news article and click through and want to get a quote on a granite countertop, because that's just how it works. But it doesn't mean it doesn't work, if you will. So anyway, that's what you do, and what you're going to typically find is in the situation where you do heavy pre-marketing, you're going to probably double the return, you at least double the return on the people that you get through your other marketing methods, because they have brand recognition for what you have now. Of course, the pre-marketing has cost in itself, but it's so cheap that if you're able to double the sales you get from your other ad budget, effectively 80% of that's going to be profit. There's situations where we certainly do have where it's 4 to 5x increase in profitability, like with the granite countertop seller, because there's, going back to what I was saying before, there's only so many people in your local market that are buying. Or effectively, like when you're selling granite countertops, there's only so many people who are going to buy those on a monthly basis in a local market. So what do you do to squeeze more out of that market? You do this pre-marketing to people that are soon-to-be buyers, so they have brand recognition, so they select you at a higher rate than they would have otherwise once they are in market officially. And for the granite, just doing the heavy pre-marketing to everybody that's going to buy a house, given the main customer is somebody who's going to buy a house, that's going to, that's not most of the customers per se, but a good chunk of that market. That entire part of the market now buys at a much, much higher rate than they would otherwise, not have seeing all the ads that we had for that person after they left. So to simplify this, if you will, you can think of this doubling just assume that this can double the sales from all the marketing that you're doing already that's already effective for you, or if it's not effective, it can actually double the productivity in terms of the ROI from it, and for very little cost. Virtually to where, this pre-marketing campaign can be 10% of what you spend on your marketing now. You could just take out 10% of what you're spending, devote it to this pre-marketing, and then from the marketing budget you have overall, which is still the same, you can double the sales that you have, legitimately speaking, or more if you're in certain markets, depending on your market. With that said, another way to do pre-marketing is life events. So to target people that are soon to be buying in your market, they might have a life event like they are engaged, if you're going to sell wedding products, obviously. But another one would be like if they recently moved, going back to the real estate thing. One thing that like life insurance agents, like we had with a client before, know about that is you normally get one after they move. So obviously, with this you can see where I'm going with this. You can have pre-marketing ads going as soon as somebody moves, and we know that, new movers. But the way that people typically do this is way lame. Is they'll send out postcards in the mail. Excuse me. But they'll send like one postcard out to somebody who's recently moved in the area. And snail mail still works. But sending one of anything out is like in that type of situation when that person's doesn't have a burning desire for it right then and there, it's not going to do anything. You got to have more touches with them for them to understand that you're the brand. So because what it really does for you is it gets the person, like I said, that when they do go by, they think of you first, and or they just know you're the brand. So when they go Google what you do, you stand out as the one to click on at a much higher rate than they would have otherwise or before. So for the life insurance agent, it's the same thing that they would these other agents normally would have done in the direct with physical mail, where we have the banner ad show up for them, and they're just going to keep blasting for that person until enough time has went past that we know that they're not effectively going to be buying from anybody itself, or until they buy, if you will. So, and for that, we're talking about 90 days after they move. We just have banner ads show up for them all over the place. And if you're wondering here, what exactly do you put in on these banner ads, Corey? Here, we'll get to that part next. So, what you actually want to do, if we were to sum it up, is tell that user a story about you and or your company as to who you are, why you are that, what you're about, that kind of thing. What I'll have is a whole series of ads, since they're literally so like a penny to have them show up for somebody on your list one time. You can really get creative with this. You can have 15, 20 ads with different messages on it cycling out. So instead of just repeating the same damn thing over and over again that everybody else does with their online ads, you could have 20 unique messages that cycle out for them, like I do at our agency as well. If you see my remarketing ads, I have like 25 different remarketing ads. They tell you this about my company, that, this, that. Here's an article. Here's another article I wrote. Here's a case study I did. So that people become familiar with us. They become familiar with me. So that if I ever do talk to them, they already know about me. Or when they, more realistically, when they, their PPC manager they have now pisses them off enough, and the time's they're right for, switching, and they go to decide to actually do that. Now, because I've pre-marketed to them, they're going to go with me at a much, much higher rate than they would otherwise. And so, with that said, we'll have an ad with a testimonial on it. Just one testimonial, that's all it does. People typically think this is dumb because it's like, who's going to click through that testimonial and buy? But that's not what it's about. You're mentally massaging that person, the information about your company into that person's mind, whether they want to or not, so that when they do eventually buy, if they're going to buy, they select you at where that 75% of the time where they want to go with the brand, they think you're the brand. We'll have our Google reviews on an ad. So there'll be an ad that just all it says is our Google reviews. Then we'll have another ad show up for the person that's all it says is, see a case study, and points people to a case study on our site. Which, if you want to take this all the way and do it the right way, you don't just have something on there that says you have Google reviews and send them to your homepage. Which you can do that on some of the stuff, but on the case study or whatever, we'll send them to the actual case study. For the testimonial, we'll send them to an actual page that has all the rest of our testimonials on it. Why? Because if somebody does click on it and they are interested, it'd be dumb to send them to your homepage, because they're just going to get there and they're going to be like, okay, this sucks, I'm going to leave. But then, so you do all that, but then you also have an ad. So all that stuff just builds trust. But you can also have an actual offer on there, which says, for this week only, for 4th of July, we're offering 20% off for any new customers. So that once they've seen all those other ads, if they were intrigued, they are close to making a purchase, you can suck out that demand from that user as well. So there's stuff in there that technically I wouldn't class as pre-marketing. It's more like just marketing to a set target audience, but we'll do in the mix as well. So I recommend you do at least 3 to 5 different ads, if not more. The more you actually do, the more effect that this is going to have. And the more you could tell about your company through these ads, of course, the more of an effect it's going to have on them thinking you're the brand. So when they go to buy, they're going to go with you at an even higher rate. So, and just know, most people are going to click on your ads. If you're going to judge the campaign, whether they click through the ad and buy or turn into a lead, you're not going to see the value in this. You got to see it the other way, where you see, your sales going up overall, because it makes all your other efforts work better. That's the primary way that it works. But because very few people click on the ads themselves, whatever message you want to get across has to be on that ad, because they're going to see the ad, they're going to say, huh, that's interesting, nice testimonial, I wonder who this company is. And then that's why I say you want to have lots of different ads, because they'll see the ad, they'll remember it, and then they'll see another ad, another ad, another ad, another ad, and then after seeing all these ads, they've built up a memory about your company that's substantial. Don't expect them to click to the ads, in other words. And if they see 20 different ads with 20 different messages on it, they know quite a bit about you, even though they weren't motivated enough to click through your ad right away. So that when the day comes for them to actually buy from somebody, they remember, they have a significant memory about you. So this is mainly about building trust here, so that you end up seeming like the brand when they go to buy. You are the brand in their mind. But this is also about pulling demand for the few people that you could convince that would have soon been able to buy a little bit sooner than they were going to be naturally on their own when it was their own idea. So that's pre-marketing, at least to me, in a nutshell, and how we do it at our advertising firm to make sales at our company, and how you can also then obviously, of course, make sales at your company. So how can you get in front of people that are soon to be buyers, where there's at least a 1% chance that they're going to be buying from somebody in the near future? Because if you can do that, and you can get in front of them all the information that they need to know that you're the big dog in your market, because that'll be extremely profitable for you to do. To essentially brainwash the buyer into knowing that you're the top guy in the space or gal in the space, even though you're not, or even if that's not true, because this is a mechanism that will absolutely do it for your market. So really the only task is how do I get in front of somebody who's soon to be buying? Because if you get in front of people, to get in front of one person that's going to be buying, and you have to get in front of 1,000, you have so much waste circulation there that it's not profitable. Because every time your ad effectively shows up and you are getting in front of somebody who's not going to buy, you're paying for waste. So there's a point in which you're going to be your targeting is good enough that it's profitable, and profitable every time. You don't have to be that savvy in making ads. You just got to be good at explaining all the things that would help the person know you're an authority, so that when they go buy, they know you. So they actually do know you're the authority. And if they know you're the authority, you're going to end up with a purchase from them at several factors more than you would have got otherwise, assuming they didn't know that you were the authority going into the situation with them, or the event of them deciding who to buy from in your market. So with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. If you have any questions about anything I covered here, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. You can, by the way, ask any question you'd like about PPC or running online ads. I'd be happy to answer for you. I'm a 20-year ad expert who does ad strategy all day long. Therefore, it's quality information that you're going to get on this channel and from myself. So, and then along with that, you should consider subscribing, because if you want to really know how to make money with ads online, this is the information that you need. If you like my channel, by the way, you of course can subscribe, but also you can see my blog that I write at guaranteedppc.com/blog, as well as have a column at entrepreneur.com if you want to read my stuff there as well. It's just as good. If you're looking for an ad agency, by the way, this is exactly what I do, and we guarantee results for our clients. In that, we don't charge our any fees to our clients until we get you a certain minimum amount of sales lift on your campaigns up front. So if you're interested in that, you should reach out to us. The only catch is we got to know we can get good results on your campaigns to work together, but if you want to see if it's possible to work together, you should reach out to my firm. It's guaranteedppc.com. As a side, if you are looking for results and don't want to work with an ad agency per se, we have ad templates we sell as well. And that if we've worked in your market before, instead of working with us directly, we can sell you the ad templates, landing page templates, everything that works well in your market, tell you what results we can get with those templates in your market, because we've got the same results using the same templates for other clients in your market before. We sell those for a one-time fee, so if you're interested in that, you can reach out. We'll tell you if we've worked in your market, and some people use these templates to start other businesses up. If you've got the winning ad templates that work for a market, why not start there if you're going to start another business? That's how effective these things are, because a lot of times we've ran a campaign for years to get results in that market. So everything is just polished and works well for that market. And what you're getting an ironclad version of it, what took us many times millions of dollars of ad spend to figure out what worked in that market. So anyway, we have that opportunity available as well. If you are looking for somebody to help you out with your ads, but you don't want to pay any management fees to an agency like ours, we're looking for volunteers that will let us share your results on this channel, and we'll, in exchange, not charge any fees at all to you. We will not charge any fees to you in exchange for being able to be so kind to share your results that we can get for you on this particular channel so other people can learn. So if you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com. With that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video where we have another great strategy for you. See you later.